Hello, y'all. Hello. Happy Thursday. Okay, I had to make sure I had my day right because I messed up the day in a previous video. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, back to bring you news and commentary you can use. Listen, y'all. I'm going to get right into today's video. Very concerning information, and I want to know your thoughts. There's a lot going on pertaining to our country, pertaining to our border security, even pertaining to our military, okay? I want to talk about three stories that are happening right now, okay, that have me concerned, wondering, is there another crisis going on right now, okay? I want to know your thoughts. Listen, y'all, did you know, okay, did you know right now there are calls, okay? There are calls for, or a call rather, for our Secretary of Defense, okay, Lloyd Austin. You've heard me talk about him in a previous video. Something happened with him recently concerning his health. It was, I assume for privacy reasons. I wasn't talked about as much, but it left many people concerned, okay? Even some calling for him to resign, okay? Listen to this, y'all. Representative Chris DeLuzio, okay, he actually, according to my sources, became the first congressional Democrat to call for Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's resignation after the controversy over his hospitalization. Okay, listen to what he's saying, y'all. Here's a quote by Representative DeLuzio, a Democrat out of Pennsylvania, who said, and I quote, okay, "I have lost trust in Secretary Lloyd Austin's leadership of the Defense Department due to the lack of transparency about his recent medical treatment and its impact on the continuity of the chain of command." Okay, according to Representative DeLuzio, who said in a statement that also thanked Austin for his service and wished him a speedy recovery. And then my sources say that he represents what's known as a swing district, okay? He also went on to say, and I quote, "I have a solemn duty in Congress to conduct oversight of the Defense Department through my services on the House Armed Services Committee. That duty today requires me to call on Secretary Austin to resign." Okay, that's according to Representative DeLuzio, who, I didn't know this, okay, my sources say is an Iraq war veteran. Okay, so he's speaking on this now. A Pentagon spokesperson, according to my sources, declined to comment other than to say that the department would respond directly to congressional lawmakers as it does with all Hill correspondence. Okay, so that's one thing going on. It seemed like right around the same time, okay, if I remember correctly, it seemed like right around the same time that something, he had some type of maybe medical emergency. His situation was going on right around the same time. I believe that's the same time that the United States and Ukraine launched, I'm not the United States and Ukraine, but the United States and the United Kingdom launched an attack somewhere over in the Middle East as well. So there's a lot surrounding that. So that's one question I have. Okay, what's really going on with this situation? Is it right to call on him to resign due to whatever happened and how it was handled? I want to know your thoughts, okay? Also, okay, you've heard me speak of Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Okay, did you know that they are actually having hearings, okay, are being had, hearings are being held, rather, okay, regarding a possible impeachment for him, okay? So let's talk about exactly what's going on with him. I actually, today, okay, I got to hear some of those hearings where, they spoke of the border crisis, what's happening, how our borders seem to not be secured. I also got a chance to hear from some of the families, okay, families of victims who lost their lives allegedly due to, families of victims who lost their lives at the hands of alleged people who had come here but had not come here through the legal way, okay? One, mother, she spoke about her experience and how she had lost trust, and put essentially blame on the lack of action, rather, by the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Okay, so I want to touch on kind of what's going on with that. According to news out of Washington, D.C., House Republicans are moving quickly on advancing impeachment proceedings against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, holding their second and final hearing on the matter in 8 days, okay? Representative Mark Green of Tennessee, the committee's chairman, said, and I quote, "This hearing is about the human costs of Secretary Mayorkas's what is being described as egregious misconduct and failure to fulfill his oath of office," okay? The article also says that Republicans have repeatedly accused Mayorkas of failing to enforce the nation's laws as a record number of migrants arrived at the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, remember I reported that he was a part of the U.S. delegation that went to meet with the Mexico president, okay, to talk about the U.S.-Mexico border crisis and possible solutions. Now, at Thursday's hearing, okay, lawmakers heard testimony from people whose family members, okay, had lost their life as a result of fentanyl overdoses or violent crime. Okay, so kind of what they're saying is that people are using the migrant crisis as a way, or let me say it like this: people are coming into the border. Okay, this is what they're alleging. This is what people were speaking on, saying that, and I'm just kind of summarizing that. One concern is that those who are crossing the border, the U.S.-Mexico border, coming into the country, that they're committing violent crimes, that is even leading to loss of life in some cases, that they're also using this as an opportunity to traffic drugs, okay, into the country. So those are all valid concerns, right? Very much so. The Department of Homeland Security, or the DHS, has criticized the impeachment efforts as a, and I quote, baseless political attack, and Democrats have argued there is no legal basis for impeaching Mayorkas, okay? Ahead of the hearing, House Republicans and DHS clashed over whether Mayorkas will appear in person. During the impeachment proceedings, Republicans wanted Mayorkas to attend this week's hearing, but he declined, citing a conflicted meeting with Mexican officials about border enforcement, okay? The secretary agreed to testify, but asked to coordinate a time that works for his schedule, okay? So we got that going on, y'all, okay? The third story that I want to talk about concerning security, and more specifically our military, okay? We have right now, at the time of this report, as I shared in a previous video, we have some Navy SEALs that are missing, okay? According to my sources, the U.S. forces recovered Iranian warheads in Navy SEAL mission gone array, okay? The U.S. military said the arms shipment intercepted off the coast of Somalia was destined for militants in Yemen blamed for attacks in the Red Sea. Now listen to this, y'all, okay? American military personnel have recovered Iranian-made missile warheads and related components during a shipboarding mission near Somalia last week that disrupted the weapons resupply of militants in Yemen, but left 2 elite Navy SEALs lost at sea, okay? A massive search and rescue operation is ongoing in the Arabian Sea, where the incident occurred Thursday, okay? And from my understanding, this was a few days ago, okay? A few days ago, possibly last week. Listen, y'all, the SEALs moved to board the vessel described by officials as a DOW, DHOW, a type of trading vessel sometimes used by smugglers to carry illicit weapons, okay? It says the DHOW lacked proper identification, raising suspicions that it was smuggling arms, okay? As the Washington Post and other media previously reported, Thursday's nighttime operation, backed by helicopters and drones, took place in rough seas when one of the SEALs slipped from a ladder while attempting to climb aboard the DHOW. The second, having witnessed their comrade fall into the water, dove in to help, officials have said. Both were swept away from the powerful swells. Neither has been publicly identified. Okay, so I'm going to follow up with these stories. So much is happening concerning our border security, the border crisis at the border, the fact that it does not seem to be a real solution as migrants are steadily flowing in by the thousands. Meanwhile, we have what seems like escalating tensions abroad. 2 Navy SEALs are missing. Okay, my thoughts and prayers are with their family, their comrades and loved ones. What is really going on, y'all? Okay, so I want to know your thoughts about this. Very concerning. Are we now in the middle of another crisis concerning our homeland security and also concerning our military? Okay, thank you to our servicemen and women all across the nation for the service that they're giving to our country. I pray for their safety, for their well-being. So many things are happening. It's very, very concerning. Okay, let me know your thoughts on this. Are we in the middle of another crisis concerning our homeland security and our military? Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you so much for supporting me here on Andrea Speaks TV. Take care. Be blessed.